like to go back just on the throughway tolls a minute. With that being a credit, certainly we're going to be aware of it. We'll have it in the news, I'm sure, and whatever. But generally, if this becomes law, will we have a process of notifying those who are frequent users of the throughway so that they make sure they're aware of their opportunity for the credit?
Sure. Outreach and communication is an area that I think the tax department has done a good job and is one of our strategic focus, if you will, as we move forward, both in terms of creating, we have a robust website, for example, but we're looking to make it even more navigable and easier to use as more and more users turn to that means or that mode of understanding what the requirements are and what available programs are. We also have an outreach function. We have a small business or business tax ombudswoman who's actively engaged with the business community. Myself and my team and a number of our subject matter experts are constantly engaged in communication with the various trade, professional societies and associations. So we're looking at every avenue, if you will, to proliferate awareness of benefits that are available. And then we, of course, target our communications to affected groups, especially when there's a new benefit. The other thing that has helped us is our, again, the amount of data that we receive, third-party data that we apply analytics to help us better identify, forecast where we do need to target and prioritize our efforts. So I think there will be a very robust effort and recurring effort to create awareness about the benefit.
One of the provisions in the governor's proposal mirrors one somewhat that he made last year on Parental Choice in Education Act, so providing some opportunity for tax credits for individuals that want to donate to some of our private schools. Last year, I believe, there was $50 million that would go toward private and $50 toward public. The governor's proposal this year, or if those numbers, it was 50-50, I think, in percentages. This year, it's looking at only 20 on the public side. Was there a rationale in the proposal to go less toward the public school as opposed to the private this year?
Well, as you identified, Assemblyman, there is $70 million for the Education Scholarship Program tax credit, and $50 million of that is for education scholarship organizations and $20 million for credits for contribution to public education entities and school improvement organizations, et cetera. In terms of the allocation of the funding, that's something that I would, if you want more insight into that, I would have to get back to you on.
Okay. Thank you on that. One other provision that I just wanted to briefly go into was there is a fines as part of the proposal on tax preparers if they understate an individual's liability for their taxes. Is that going to be, well, there's a couple different things. One, there's a two-level enforcement, the fines being determined if they are reckless or intentional, having higher, just trying to get an idea how that might be determined, whether it was, inadvertent or other? And if, on the inadvertent side, are we going to, if there's any claim, mine gets sent in and, there's a $5 addition error, is my preparer now going to be liable for up to $1,000 because, they carried the wrong number?
No, that's not our focus. Our focus, like most proposals that eventuate from the administration, from agencies, are really driven by experience with in practice. And in the practice, what we have observed is that we have some tax preparers, and let me just pause for a moment to make sure I'm careful to differentiate the different preparers. So we have the licensed attorneys, the licensed CPAs, and we have enrolled agents. The enrolled agents, all that is, enrolled agents receive their status from the IRS, the federal government. For those category of preparers, professionals, our function, we don't regulate because they're regulated in essence through their licensure organizations. The tax preparers, some 43,000 that we regulate, are those who fall outside of those particular categories. And the concern is that we have seen recurringly tax preparers take positions or claims for refunds that are not supported by law. And that's really what we're looking to get at with this penalty, if you will, that we stop and penalize that type of more egregious, unfounded behavior, if you will, on the part of tax preparers.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.